Are you a curious person when it comes to studying poker? My name is Andreas, and in this video you're gonna find out why I think it's one of the most undervalued qualities as a poker player. And if you wanna know more about that, stay tuned. Alright guys, I wanna welcome over here Mo. Could you give us a short introduction about yourself?
Alright, okay. My name is Mo. I am 30 years old, from Germany, original Persian. I'm a student, busy as hell. I study information science, specialized in online marketing, economy, and so on. I'm also a poker streamer like Andreas. We met a couple of weeks ago. We did a podcast together. Guys, check that out. And yeah, at the moment I'm streaming a cash game challenge. And I also have a tournament challenge as well there. So you guys can check out my channel. And yeah, I would say that's about me.
Okay, sure. So this video is called the Recreational Drill, and I want to ask you, Mo, what is it going to be about? What are you going to do in this drill?
Challenge, yeah.
This
okay.
Challenge.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So I will stream next month in May, every day, for at least 1 hour.
What are you going to stream?
Playing cash games. And the rules are that I have to play at least 30 minutes. So that means live play or 30 minutes. And the other 30 minutes I have to spend on analyzing my hands, reviewing my sessions, and that's about it. I mean, it has to be at least 1 hour. I can stream longer, I can review my hands longer, but the rule is that I have to do it at least 1 hour every day.
Okay, sure. And I'm sure it's not the hardest thing to play 1 hour every day, but the most important thing is that you actually study half an hour of that hour, which many people struggle with. What do you think? Why do people struggle with that? Why do you struggle with studying poker half an hour a day? It doesn't sound like much. What could be in your way?
What could be in my way? I think playing is more fun. That could be the case, right? Also, the thing is, people come home tired from work, and they just want to sit there, probably relax and play a little bit poker. I also have this problem sometimes coming home from all the classes, and then we have to learn here at home as well. I think you don't have the power and energy anymore.
By the way,
yeah.
guys, yes, if you also come home tired from work, I do have a video in the description below. It's on my YouTube channel. If you come home from work tired and you want to play poker, take a transition exercise or something. Go walk your dog, walk by yourself, do some training, go to the gym. Then you can get to play poker in a more clear, focused mind, and that's going to be helping you a lot. So we're going to have a look at it now, why I think studying half an hour a day is going to be mandatory for any recreational player if you want to actually improve at poker. And we're going to do that by looking at a hand example that I just played. I just played 15 minutes a day to make this hand example. I played 2-card PLO. So I usually don't play Hold'em cash game these days, but here's a spot that I played. And I basically 3-bet ace-king suited, somewhat cold called, and then the button player calls. The board ends up being ace-3-8. I went ahead and c-bet, more or less polarized. I got called by the button, and on the turn there was the ace. Now I decide to bet here, and then also quite realized that I actually wasn't aware of how I would play my entire range in this spot, given that there was 3 players in hand, and I tried to simplify it, and then afterwards studied a little bit in the Equilab. And that's exactly also what I would suggest Mo doing, that you basically develop a certain curiosity about a hand. And as you can see here, what I did is I just marked 2 hands. You should mark maybe 4 to 10 hands if you want to study half an hour, but 2 hands are sometimes really enough. You can see you can squeeze a lot of information out of there. And what I did here is I basically, you know, I tried to show, okay, what would my range look like in this spot? You know, what could I be 3-betting with potentially? And you can see like all potential 3-betting hands over here, all the suited aces, king 10 suited, and all these suited Broadway cards. Ace jack off, so king queen also might be. You can also mix in some cold calls, but if you have a pure 3-betting strategy, 7s plus, 9-8 suited plus, and ace jack king queen off, it can be, you know, an aggressive 13% re-stealing strategy. But that is not really what matters here the most. The next thing you want to do, you want to basically look at your opponent's range, and we can see that, okay, he can call 3 bets, and now the question is, what is he going to call on the flop with? And I marked the 3s and the 7s, and then all the ace-x and all the diamond combinations, which I marked here, which he would probably not fold in position. Maybe he would fold like the very weakest ones, but, you know, 7 high, but probably not. And then also ace, king, ace, jack offsuit. So maybe now giving back the task to you, Mo. Before we start, we talked a little bit about this spot, and what could you, for example, do if this was your hand? Like, what could you be curious about in this situation? Because I said, okay, your range play might not be clear. What can you, we talked a little about blockers, maybe you can mention something. What have you learned from our talk before? What could you learn, you know, in those 30 minutes?
I mean, so we play here our entire range. So what we can also do is looking at specific hands, right? Let's say ace, queen. We did queen of diamonds, for example, right?
Yes. Ace, for example, ace of spades, queen of diamonds. And then we're going to just get rid of this. We're going to take our opponent's continuing range, our hand, and we're going to see, okay, what is our equity? 74.45%. What is the next thing you can do here?
Let's look at the queen of spades, for example.
Or, yeah, okay, let's do that afterwards. But what could we do with the queen? We could make it a spade. And what's going to happen now with this? That's our curiosity. Okay, what happens?
we agree with that hand. Yeah. I was kind of surprised to see that. Maybe you will see that as well, guys. Look at this. Yeah, our equity increases.
So why does, you know, it's very minor. It's a very minor difference, but this is really, it's not about this hand. It's not about understanding that you have like 0.5% more equity when you have a different queen in your hand. It's about the overall pattern that you learn about. And that's all about blockers here. When you have the queen of diamonds, you click into your opponent's range and you think about, okay, which hands here get affected?
I mean, you block some flush draws, obviously, right? Yeah.
I mean, now we click into that range and you can see that there are no existing queen high flush draws anymore in this region, and obviously that's gonna make a difference. For example, if we eliminate the queen of diamonds and put the queen of spades, we go to 75% of equity. Why? Because now our opponent has a queen jack of diamonds, queen 10 of diamonds, and queen 9 of diamonds, and these hands, proportionally to all the other hands that he could have, for example an ace, have more equity. For example, when he has an ace here, he's going to be crushed. When he has a set, he crushes us, right? But when he has a diamond combo, he still has outs. He still can outdraw us. That means when we have a diamond, it's basically not as good as if we don't have the queen of diamonds, because we're going to, you know, have him almost stone cold dead. When we have queen of spades more often, that means on average we're going to have more equity. And it's just some of these small things that you can learn, and you can basically test that for everything. You can do it with the ace king and see, okay, what is going to do here? Okay, it's going to change things a little bit as well. The king high flush draws are not there anymore. Change that with a spade. Then it's actually here even, wait a second, ace of king of spades. That's going to be suited combination. And with a diamond, it goes down a little bit. So the same pattern, right?
Yeah.
We don't want our opponent to have diamonds. We want him to have a spade. Now, when you look at the opposite and potential bluff candidates that you have in your range, in order to maximize fold equity, you know, you can learn something more. And there I'm going to ask you now spontaneously the question, when you have, for example, a bluff, what hands of this range here could you take as a bluff? And like, what would you say is better for you if you have the king, for example, if you have the king of diamonds, queen of spades, is that better? Or is it going to be king of spades, queen of spades? Well, or
so we have the king of diamonds. We will block some of his flush draws, right?
Yes.
So I think the king of spades and the queen of spades. If I see it right?
No, it's a king of spades, queen of hearts, king of diamonds, queen of hearts.
Yeah, I think the king of spades and queen of hearts is better.
This is better. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't block flush draws.
Let's
Yeah.
have a look at, I mean, the equities are going to be 18%. And here the equity is only 15%.
Okay. Yes. So of course the king of spades and king of hearts is better to bluff.
Well, it has more equity, but is it also then better to bluff? That's the question. Like the curiosity, see where the curiosity will lead you to. You would take a hand in your range and you actually don't know fully, but then you want to move on to having a curiosity about those two hands. Well, what is it going to be when you have, you know, the king of diamonds and the queen of spades? Like, whereas you have less equity with the former here, you also will be, you know, folding out maybe some potential king high flush draws. Like, is that good for you?
If I fold,
that's the question.
If I fold in the king high flush draws.
No, if you're not making it, if your opponent cannot have those flush draws.
Okay.
Is that good?
No.
Is that good or not? Like, that's the question.
Yeah, it's better when he has flush draws, right?
Yes.
I would say.
So it's not good, because when he doesn't have those king high flush draws, he's gonna have an ace more often.
Yeah, right? More of a value range. Yes.
Yeah. So he's gonna be more on the value side, on the call down side. Yeah. Okay. So that is not so good. So that means, yes, not only does this hand have more equity here, but it also means that your opponent can draw more often, and it's going to work out better, you know, to make your opponent then maybe call again with a flush draw. And then on the river it gets interesting, because if you want to bluff the river, you actually don't want to have a diamond in your hand, because if you have a diamond in your hand, like the king of diamonds, then it means that your opponent is going to have less king high flush draw that he calls maybe twice. Because let's say he has the king jack or the king queen of diamonds, with king high plus a nut flush draw, he might call you twice on the turn, on the second time, and on the river he might fold those hands. So this is like something you could learn about these two hands. And you know, even if you are not super precise and you make mistakes there, at least this is really what it's all about. Every day you're trying to train your curiosity about either No Limit Hold'em or Pot Limit Omaha. It doesn't matter what game it is, but you go into programs like the Equilab, you mark your hands in Hold'em Manager 2, and you're just trying to figure out certain parts of your range. You know, how do they do? How does the equity get affected? And what does that mean for my opponent's continuing range, given the hand that I have, right? All right, and when you do these studies, what could actually happen to you when you review those hands? What do you think? Or what has happened to you in the past when you do some Equilab work, for example?
I mean, you can get stuck at some point, right? You don't find a solution. Or maybe what I always was thinking is if I'm right or not at all, you know, maybe I did the whole analyzing of the hand completely wrong.
Yes.
So
yeah. And what do most people do?
Yeah.
What do most people do?
Probably
yes.
No, probably.
Now, what do most people do afterwards when they don't know, when they're wrong, and what do they do as a consequence?
So maybe they will quit.
Yeah.
Or they think they are right at some point, and that's it.
Yeah, they don't have to learn anymore. They quit or do whatever. And you know, it's your job in this challenge basically to not do that, to not quit. But then, what do you do instead? You don't quit. What do you do instead if you have those problems?
So I will have hand discussions with my viewers, for sure. I will also probably, if I have to, post some of the hands, okay? And then I will show those hands again on my stream that I posted in the forums to see the answers that I got. And then we will talk about the hand again, yeah?
I mean, it's definitely, you know, worth something to interact with Twitch chat, especially if you have some people tuning in there who can help you out, who knows something about poker. But then also what is important that you reach out on forums where you have knowledgeable people that can help you out. You really need to reach out. But what is very important here, guys, is if you do this kind of work and you want someone's help, you have to put in the work, okay? You have to really structure a nice post. Don't make like this long post. Don't make this short post. Make something in between that looks neat, that people can exactly see what you've done, that it's well structured. And then you can also get some help when you do this analysis of poker hands. And yeah, people will help you, whether it's on runitoncpoker.com, where it's in 2+2, whether it's in different Discord channels or people, you know, answer your questions. Just make very well structured posts, and then you will get help. But you have to do this. You just don't give up, and then, you know, put it out there with your well structured thought process, and then people can, you know, take you up on that and improve you as a poker player, help you improve as a poker player.
I'll probably contact you as well, Andreas.
Okay, yeah, I'm you know, curious to see how this challenge is gonna go, and whether, you know, you're going through with it, and and I hope so. I have faith in you that you do this. That's why I'm, you know, uploading this content here, and I hope that you can exactly do this 30 minutes of studying, because I don't doubt that anyone can play 2 hours a day or something. That's not the challenge. Like, the challenge is really do that half an hour studies, and that should be part of every day, having the curiosity every day, creating that habit as part of your day. If you want to get good at poker, you have to create the habits of a good poker player, and the habits of a good poker player is thinking about the game on a more advanced level, using tools, or using at least the mind to, you know, construct more creative ideas that are actually true and that are confirmed by a good player, or just mathematically sound because they know themselves, right? That's what we're gonna do here.
I mean, the thing also is, I have a full-time study. I'm super busy as well, and also I'm streaming that, so I have to be there every day on Twitch TV. 1 hour doesn't sound that much, but try to do one thing every day. Like, and let's see how tough it gets at the end. Okay?
Yes, and
that's
also,
challenge.
and also, I mean, it's one level tougher that you're streaming. Like, it shows, it's a little bit showing vulnerability, because people can see when you study 30 minutes. They can see when you struggle, when you actually don't understand something, which not everyone would be ready to do. So you know, that's already a start, that you're ready to do this on Twitch, and trying to show people that it can be done, even with people watching. Even, you know, if you do something wrong, it might be embarrassing, but at the same time, it's going to get you much better as a player when you do this every day. You know, having these habits is just crucial, and that's, I think, would lead to success, and will help you out with your bankroll challenge a lot as well. So
yeah, I mean, I have good guys there on my Twitch channel, so we'll be all right.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. All right. All right, have it. Thanks for having the talk. And the way it's gonna go is here on YouTube. We're gonna have this conversation after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks. If Mo drops out at some point, this is done. I'm gonna have to rethink things, but let's go follow through with this, and then we're gonna have an interesting YouTube series here. I hope you guys enjoyed this format. Also, let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. And yeah.
All right, thanks for having me, Andreas. Thanks so much.
See you for the next talk. Each poker hand is basically like solving a puzzle. When it comes to curiosity, that plays a big deal in it, and training it for 30 minutes a day can make you a much stronger player. So I'm very curious to see how Mo is going to do in this challenge, and how that's going to turn out at the end of the 30 days, and how that's going to transition him into someone who basically is curious about finding better decisions for himself after studying each day. Also, make sure that in the video you notice that you have to ask for help if you don't know any further. A lot of people out there, they're just not good at studying. They don't know how to study. And then what separates the best players from the other players is they are actually finding a way to find someone, inspire them, and make the right study adjustments in order for them to learn something every day. Now, if this video brought any value to you, I would appreciate it if you could hit that like button down here and subscribe to the channel. There will be a lot more to come, including this video series where I will review, as said, every week with Mo what's been happening that week and where he basically struggled with the journey. Thanks for watching this time, and then see you for the next one.